Another terrifying escalation in the war in Ukraine as Nord Stream 2, the gas pipeline running from Russia to Germany, has been hit with a explosive of some sort, possibly from Russia or more likely from the US itself, after some news came out the other day of Joe Biden stating that if Russia were to invade Ukraine, they would take out Nord Stream 2. This story here, size of Nord Stream blast equal to large amount of explosives, the UN is told. Denmark and Sweden have said the leaks from the Nord Stream pipelines in the Baltic Sea were caused by blasts equivalent to the power of several hundred kilograms of explosives. Kind of like a possible torpedo or something like that could do that. The conclusions were made by a joint report of Denmark and Sweden, which was delivered to the United Nations. The UN Environment Programme said on Friday, the ruptures are likely to have led to the biggest single release of climate-damaging methane ever recorded. German authorities have also said they believe the highly explosive detonations were responsible for sabotage attacks on the two pipelines. The EU, NATO, and the governments of Poland, Sweden, and Denmark have all said they believe the leaks were caused deliberately. No shit. I mean, it doesn't just happen now when Russia's using it to basically supply Germany, and it's the only thing Russia has as a linchpin, as a something to hold over Germany or hold over the rest of Europe. Data analysis have revealed huge clouds of methane gas are hovering over the leaks from natural gas that has been pouring into the Baltic Sea from both pipelines since Monday. A greenhouse gas observation system operating across Europe reported. The pipes were built to transport gas from Russia to Germany, and only one of which has ever been activated, but both were full of gas, are said to be unusable due to the damage caused by the ruptures. Intelligence sources quoted the news magazine Spiegel believe the pipelines were hit in 4 places by explosives using 500 kg of TNT, the equivalent to the explosive power of a heavy aircraft bomb. German investigators have undertaken seismic readings to calculate the power of the blasts. First signs of the explosion were registered on Monday morning by a Danish earthquake station after suspicious activities in the waters of the Baltic Sea. A monitoring station in the Danish island of Bornholm measured severe tremors. Now, whoever hit Nord Stream 2, whoever blew it up, would need to be gaining something from doing so. So I don't see why Russia would blow it up. I mean, unless they're playing 3D chess, which I doubt, but that was their only thing they could hold over as a bargaining chip for the over Europe. Coming into winter now, Germany's going to have no gas, which they've decided to go with their green climate thing. So they're shutting down nuclear power plants, shutting down coal power plants, and they're running off of what little green energy they can produce, which obviously isn't enough. Now, Biden was quoted as saying this back in February. We'll watch this video here, but it said that if Russia invades, there will no longer be a Nord Stream 2. And then it's like, how will you do that? And he said, trust me, I promise you, we'll be able to do it. So watch this clip here.
Let me answer the first question first. If Russia invades, that means tanks or troops crossing the border of Ukraine again. Then there will be no longer a Nord Stream 2. We will bring an end to it.
How will you do that exactly, since the project and control of the project is within Germany's control?
We will, I promise you, we'll be able to do it.
The smirk at the end is what gets me. I mean, he's shambled together a sentence or two there, and when he doesn't stuff up what he's saying, and what does come out of his mouth is terrifying and escalatory. Every chance he gets, he escalates the situation to the point where no one's going to be able to come back from it. No one's sitting there saying we all need to calm down. Russia needs to get out of Ukraine. You guys need to sign an agreement. You need to stop fighting. The only people that have said that is goddamn China. China is the one calling for peace. What the hell's going on in the world? Now, if Nord Stream is a domino, is the first domino, there's going to be leading up to a larger retaliatory strike from Russia or the rest of Europe. Someone's going to drop a bomb, and I am seeing a lot of these stories coming up now about tactical nuclear weapons. There is a lot of news coming out about tactical nuclear weapons. Not just me reporting on it. We've got story here. What are tactical nuclear weapons? And international security expert explains and assesses what they mean for the war in Ukraine. This is just one of dozens of stories that are cropping up every day now. And I think this is where we're headed with the war in Ukraine. Russia is going to drop a nuke, whether it's a tactical nuke or a bigger nuke, like something like Tsar Bomba. I don't think that'll happen, but a tactical nuke definitely. Or it could be deemed to be a nuclear bomb, because no one's going to know it's a nuke. I mean, when Trump sent that Moab to go and blow up, I think it was ISIS, people said, oh no, it was a nuke that looks like a fucking nuke. I mean, you're not going to know unless you're on the ground and you've got a Geiger counter. So for them to start pushing stories out saying that there's going to be tactical nuclear weapons used, I wouldn't be surprised. If Russia drops a nuke, where does that leave the rest of the world? Like, if they use nuclear weapons, the entire rest of the world, probably including China would probably step back and say, hey, we had nothing to do with it. But the rest of the world would collectively invade Russia, or Ukraine at least, and push Russia out. And it would escalate the situation to a point where there is absolutely no return. No one wants to see nukes launched, but I guarantee you, if that happens, we're screwed. You can't unfire that shot. You can't unlaunch that nuke. Even if the nuke didn't go off, but someone detected a nuclear missile being launched, and the media is not backing down, they're continuing to push this agenda where they want to escalate the war instead of de-escalation, which is usually what, news sources and that should do. The only people coming out and saying we don't want to escalate this war is people on the right and China pushing for nuclear weapons, pushing for an escalation is only going to get the young and innocent people killed. All these people pushing for it aren't going to be the ones on the front lines. They're not going to be the ones getting conscripted. All these people pushing for it aren't going to be the ones in the firing line. It's going to be people like you and me, middle-aged people with, an aversion to going to war. They're going to be sending. I mean, if you vote for a war, I think you should be drafted. If you push into a war, if you want to send billions of dollars over to Ukraine to prolong a war, you should be the one going over there to fight it. I mean, if we were invaded here in Australia, I'd be signing up. I wouldn't even need to sign up. I'd be out the door, guns loaded. I guarantee you so would 90% of the Australian military-age males. It's hard for people in Ukraine not to think the same thing. Of course they do. They want to defend their country. Russia invading them is a disgusting, despicable act. And it wasn't just perpetrated by Russia. It was pushed to this point by the UN, by Europe, and by the US. And Biden's dealings with Ukraine have all pushed it to this point. And someone is going to push it over the edge. This Nord Stream 2 explosion, that could be it. That could be pushing it over the edge. It's just another domino. And it's scary to see how close we're getting to Doomsday and World War III. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.